granniopteryx, granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Hello, I am making a video talking about the responses to my last video, principally because of this one here at the top, which I do want to talk about, and I thought I'd go through a few of the others at the same time. And my previous video was, well, I was in despair. I was talking about how there's a whole lot of stuff suddenly on the internet, on Twix and Facebook and places like that, blaming the Jews for everything. You name it, bad weather, rain, terrible crops in Indonesia, you know, it's the Jews' fault. And this seems to be worse now than it used to be. And I was very sad about this because, I mean, it's not so hot for the Jews, I suppose, but it's not good for any culture that has this in its mind. I mean, you can see what's happened to the Middle East that started to blame Jews for everything. I mean, they've just gone backwards. And it's because it's misdirection. That's what they call it in magic tricks, when the magician directs your attention towards, well, the pretty girls standing there like that, you know, and the magician is doing something else at the same time that you don't see because your eyes have been diverted. And I looked up misdirection here, and it says it's the art of manipulating an audience's attention to conceal the mechanics of a magic trick, creating the illusion of real magic. And it seems to me sort of ironic because the Magi, the wise men who came from the East because they had the visions of a significant child being born, they were probably, they're supposed to be from Persia. And that's where the name magician comes from anyway. And it's sort of ironic that the Ayatollahs are funding and putting out this misdirection, this magic trick of having everything blamed on the Jews while they try and dismantle the world in order to bring the 12th Imam and the end of days, because that is their goal. And I got a message from an Israeli subscriber just this morning in which she said they've got the basement cleared out and all ready because everybody in Israel is worried that the Iranians, knowing they are losing, are just going to go for one final apocalyptic end of the world, go out in a ball of flame or a blaze of glory or whatever you might call it. So all of that was in my mind while I was making my last video, all of that idea. And sorry, my son keeps sending me messages. So I was feeling very bleak about it. And this poor woman here feels even more bleak. I'm going to read out her message to me. It says, I am an Iranian. I tell you, they have slaughtered children under 10 years. They don't care the ages. They just kill and kill until streets are empty of living beings. I feel very bad. I am crying day and night. I wish I have been killed too. I don't like to live in the world that had creatures like Islamists, Ayatollahs, and that kind of psycho jihadi demons. I really want to die. I am think to do it myself. And so I wanted to talk to you about this. You who are writing to me, and you who heard this terrible cry of pain, which I might say I was giving out the other day, although in my case with a lot less reason than this poor person. And the first thing I want to say, oh, by the way, I also got another message from an Israeli subscriber who told me that yet another survivor of the Nova Festival had done away with herself. She saw horrors that none of us could probably even imagine in our weirdest imagination. I'm sorry, I'm losing the vocabulary now. And she did away with herself because she couldn't bear what she saw humans had become, not only the victims, but the perpetrators. It's just as bad to see the depths of animalistic sadism that human beings are capable of. That in itself, irrespective of what happens to the victims, just being aware of how truly horrible human beings can be is a dreadful shock to the system of anyone. Well, anyone who isn't a psychopath. And she did away with herself. Of course, what was happening was she was doing their work for them. They had tipped her into accomplishing what they started. I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying that's what happened. And what I'm saying to this Iranian is, don't do what they want you to do. Don't finish the job they started but didn't finally complete. However painful it is, you have to be alive to bear witness. So, I have read stories of people who've survived concentration camps, and they, during the Second World War, and they said they survived because they were determined to stay alive so that they could tell people. Now, you have been given a lesson about humanity that none of us would like to have, but you've had that lesson forced on you. You are important because of that lesson you've learnt. A lesson I haven't learnt. However sad I feel, however involved, however heartbroken, I haven't learnt the lesson that you got through your eyes. Stay alive so you can bear witness. Right? You are very important. I just wanted to tell you that. Okay. And yeah, because the Ayatollahs don't care whom they kill. They don't care. Because it's all in the service of some sort of theoretical tomorrow, the great coming of God. And a lot of religions have this. It just so happens that this particular type of Islam has it really badly. All right, so let's have a look at some more of these comments. If there's one thing Muslims are good at, it's denial. You see, Muhammad told his followers that they were the best of people. And Islam has followed that rule. Whatever they do, they are the best of people. And because of that, when they find that something is going wrong with their religion or their behaviour, they have to deny it. Obviously, otherwise that's a direct contradiction of their lodestone, their shining star, Muhammad, the perfect man. It's a big problem in Islam. It's a huge problem. I'll leave it to the Muslim clerics about how they're going to handle that when they start to get some sense. The IRGC has to go. It's a seriously dangerous regime to the world, not just Iran. Yeah, we've said that. Genauso fühle ich, denke ich. Well, thank you very much, Judith. Okay. Let's see. It's a spiritual battle, maybe the last, good or evil, life or death, God or Satan. It's a spiritual battle for sure. It will never be the last. As long as there are human beings on this planet, there will be a battle between good and evil. That's what human beings are. They are good and evil. And we saw what happened in the Nova Festival, or what the Ayatollahs and their henchmen are doing now. That's the evil. And then you get good people doing amazing things. The people who are going out to protest, knowing that those guys are there with military, the heavy-duty machine guns, the sort that are mounted on tanks, not just little, pop guns. And they know they're going to get mown down and they go out anyway. That's a bravery. Again, a bravery I'm having trouble understanding. So this person says, funny how the same people who called Irani-funded and armed attacks on Israel from jihadist resistance are now calling Iranians uprising against their tyrannic regime a Mossad plot. Absolute hypocrisy. Israeli here. I so much hope Mossad is helping. At last, a good use of my tax money. If we're not helping, it's a shame. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Somebody suggested that the numbers of deaths might have been inflated by the regime to instill fear, to get the protesters to go home. At the time, I wrote back that cheered me up, the thought that might be true. But having slept on it, I don't think so. I've had several people mention that they've had physio on their shoulders as well, or wishing me well, and thank you very much. By the way, the physio told me that part of the problem is that I spend a lot of my time hunched over. It's the anterior, this bit here. And I spend a lot of my time hunched over the computer, and I should sit up more. So you may notice I'm sitting up more now. I'm trying to remember to do that. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today. Ibuprofen is wonderful stuff. Okay, so yeah, I was very depressed about this misdirection thing, which is not good for anybody here in the West. And I just want to send a message to anyone who's in the same situation as this person here. I understand how you feel, but it's your duty to stay alive, and it's your duty to talk about this. That's the message you've been given. You're stuck with it now. Just carry it through. Okay. Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.